June 8th, 2016. Animation idea, bullying. We moved to the US to an apartment complex in SC. The school was SM. I wasn't liked by the people in my class, including the teacher. I didn't know what cursive was and wouldn't do my division long form because it didn't need to. I was a weird foreign kid. I shut down pretty quickly trying to keep myself as best I could. People would make fun of my accent on a daily basis. Teachers would too. They seemed to think it was funny that I couldn't say 7 with an American accent, so I had to get rid of it pretty quickly. Still, it took a few years to hide it properly. That's not what I wanted to talk about, though. I wanted to mention what it's like to be strangled by somebody. It happened about 6 weeks after moving to the US. The kid that did it didn't like foreigners for some reason, or just didn't like me enough to do it. It happened on the playground at lunch. He and a couple of his friends came up to me. I honestly can't remember the conversation leading up to the attack, but he wasn't happy with me being at the school. He grabbed me by the neck from behind. The only thing I remember is the way the fingers sank into my neck and the blacking out before waking up in the office, with tears streaming down my cheeks. I can't even remember the kid's name or face. I blocked out a large amount of that first year. I didn't get an apology, and I think he got suspended, but I don't know. Eventually the teacher, Miss K, stood me in front of the class and said, "You can't make fun of Jay." Then people just stopped talking to me whatsoever, and I became a pariah, which I eventually got used to being. It wasn't until I was 24 that I realized that was why I couldn't handle being touched by people or anything touching my neck. It's still bad, even with people I trust. Bullying has long-lasting effects over others than the incidents themselves. Remember to stand up for yourself, though. June 10th, 2016. Change states, grand unified theory. What are the 3 things that can change a probability's metrics, action type, i.e. from either state of singular to interactive action, or the derivatives of each of those, with the length of time the action takes place within, and finally the geographic location of said action within a time frame? Those are the 3 things to consider when determining a single term for probability of action. All action is dependent because all of time depended on the time beginning at some point. So it's the sum of probability of that action taking place times the probability of the amount of time the action took place for times the probability for the action that taking place at that location. But it's the probabilities of each of these items, say action A, times the probabilities for all subsequent actions B, C, D, and E. And if any of those 3 items were to change values, then it becomes either a new term, and those terms must be multiplied, or the equation set must allow interpolation of the chance of those numbers changing because an action in the field from the edge has to be the multiplication of the field of the action, 1 time duration, 1 location, 1 action time duration, 2 location, 2, and so forth. Well, it's the multiplication of these factors that will give you action 1 time duration, 1 location, 1 action, 2 time duration, 1 action, 1. The easiest way to figure this is that all actions have their own time duration probabilities, and that the Earth needs to be coordinated into sections that make sense in a scalable sense, because it's not just the location you're getting. You're looking for the intended direction of movement based on past data. So if you find that you link geographical locations together to get a vector, durations to get a speed, and actions to impose the probability of the next action set to be taken. So it's action set 1, probability of action versus all available actions, times probability of duration of action, times probability of location, and minus probability of location beginning. You must be able to take averages for useful data mining. Outside of this, and rewriting these in proper format will give a clearer answer. But in the gut, grand unified theory is just every possible action for any given possible duration for any given set of locations. You need to be able to add the location information together, which is the A plus B probability methodology. Same with the time. The actions are broken into 2 types, singular in that it regards the self and may affect others, and interactive when it involves at least one other party, and as such must affect others. So your days start with, did you get up today? It's probably of yes or no, yes/no, I think. I'll have to read into it more. Getting the averages over the course of time gives you weight to the action, so another equation will have to be set up to determine the weighting value of the terms, but it breaks down into 2 sub-action subsets. If it changes locations, you could either multiply their probabilities in that part of the equation, so it may be useful to think about how to do that while you sleep. Location collectives are important for faster reading of terms, but a day can be broken down into combinations of actions taken for what time for which locations, and then it's just figuring the probability of movement between in a certain direction to determine weight mechanics. Does this apply to singular actions? Yes, but not in the same way. Towards or away 4 outcomes, happy or sad 4 outcomes. Then once the types of actions a person can take are recorded, then it's the probability of those actions versus the chance of their alternative actions. The goal is to have self-fulfilling equation. So it's linking actions with matrices. It's also linking emotional matrices. Then it would be a third equation to correlate the two into an overhead view. So it's the action subset times the emotional subset. Okay, it's getting clearer. Action subset of A times emotional subset A equals probability of action and resultant emotional happening. So there would need to be a compounding equation because there are diminishing returns and advantages to emotional responses that affect the value of the next term pair. So it's an equation of pairs of triplets times quadrants of emotional response for a single action. It's when you get the units interacting that you really get in to see how the cascade works. By providing the archetypes of people and their daily actions in order able set, and then weighing them against each other in real time, you get the movement of humanity from a single person to any number of people. The grand unified theory is real. It's just a set of probability matrices correlated properly. Once the weights are in place and the real data is working with it, you'll get high likelihood future movements down to the person if the information can be gathered or the idea of the person is designated and designed correctly. June 10th, 2016. She's the only human connection I've ever had. She's more important to me than anything else. Stop making fun of me. I can't defend myself. Write a book then. A little madness and everything. Can't be avoided. I could have been so much better, but I didn't know any better, which is sad. Ha ha. Figure out the gut, then find a way to get a computer to correlate the data sets and show people what's happening in real time so they understand how you do it. People assume free will over all, but it's a fallacy. Just probability matrices. All probabilities are predetermined. You're not designed to do anything else. You'll likely never have the life you want. You made sure of it somehow. Why did you do that? Doesn't matter. Still makes you angry, though, knowing it happened. I could have been so much better. Why didn't I see that? The perfect apple. Why are you Jay? What exactly are you, Jay? This fun album is for me. You broke the IQ test. You can literally do anything you set your mind to. What a rare ability. I probably won't be able to trust people again. Consequences of the action set. How unfortunate. Why is this so damn tiring? It's supposed to get to the point of just being annoying than just being. You knew you were different. Every single action pointed towards it. Why do you have to forgive people when you're not mad at them in the first place? I wonder whether they can tell a question based towards them or if to myself intrinsically hypomanic. You've written the plot out already. I'm just playing catch up. I need to modify the site a bit. I need to see if I can start predicting from across the room again. I don't like being someone else's character. You're supposed to be your own main character, not someone else's. Of course I wouldn't be religious. Not that I find anything wrong with having that belief system yourself. You can't be pushed outside the group your whole life, then expected to play nicely when they start taunting you again. Size doesn't seem to matter. I've turned into a raging asshole. Too much attention. Never understood what to do with it. It just makes me uncomfortable, but it keeps happening. I left X because I got a round of applause. It was too much. The important part was giving the workers the toolset to save their location by maxing their stats. It worked. I wish I could find a job making things more efficient, but I can't figure out what that is. It's not like you'll ever get to make the S in your head. 400 plus people. You should start keeping score. It might make you feel better. 529 plus so far helped out. I dislike being alive. It doesn't leave, all because I couldn't keep my mouth shut, ruined it for myself. Stupid boy. Why are there always bullies? When does this become narcissism? When did it? I just want to throttle something to get some frustration out. June 10th, 2016. A. I have a question, meows. B. Yeah, what is it? A. Do you have legs? B. I'm not sure. Let's find out. Sound effects. Smoke screen. Pop pop noise. Standing there on stubby legs. B. I guess I do. Smile on A's face. A. So nubby. B. I think it depends on whether J's being lazy or not. Walks across the room. Trips on carpet. B. Oof. Getting up. Very funny. Sound effects. Poof. So to answer your question, sweets, yes I do. Sometimes. A. Nubs. Okay, well, I'm taking a break, so I might as well do some ads. This is my first one, so bear with me. So, if you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. That's pretty cool. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And all you have to do is download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Please visit anchor.fm/divergentmind to leave a message so that I may get back to you. Thank you. Have a nice day. So Anchor is asking me to ask you to support me financially. I would ask that you go to my Patreon to do that, which is patreon.com/divergentmind. It means you can either become a monthly subscriber at a different tier of $1 to $3 to $5. I'm not looking for a lot. I'm not asking for a lot. I'm not asking for anything. This is going to go to the end of my podcast. I don't like it when podcasts straight up ask you for money when I'm doing okay. Well, I'm not doing okay. I'm surviving now to the point that I can make this. I would love to be able to make improvements to this by, say, getting... So basically, I'm running off an iPad, and I would like to improve it by getting different things that would make it better. Maybe some headphones that monitor output, or a better mic, though the mic I got was from J-Wife, so I might not even use the better mic. You know what I mean? It's all about whatever I need at the time, but really it's just to get healthy again, because I'm currently over 300 pounds and I don't want to die that young. I would really like to be able to afford some vegetables so I can go back to my vegetarian diet, because being this big sucks. And I'm happy to sit in a chair all day, but I really got to walk my butt off, literally. So that's what the money would be for. It would be for healthy food, because I can't afford it. I can afford ramen and pasta and rice and beans, but I can't live on carbs, because that's how you get this big on antipsychotics. Junk food and carbs, which is just cheap and plentiful around me. So I would like to leave my house and just lose some weight. And to do that, I would like to go to the store and buy some vegetables, please. But you don't have to do anything. I'm not asking you to. I'm not begging. I'll figure it out on my own. Much pleasure, Jay.
Hey people, take a listen to the Divergent Mind podcast. You get both insight into living with a serious mental illness and get to listen to a lovely tale about a journey cute little animals need to take. Don't miss out, and remember, divergent minds don't need to think alike.
Okay, so I just wanted to let you know that I have a YouTube channel called Taught Myself, and that I've decided to start selling merch already with a phrase that my brother showed me saying, "My disability is invisible," of which I made a hat for myself. So I decided to make hats, shirts, hoodies, for both men and women on Spreadshirt.com. All you have to do is search for "My disability is invisible." It's in green, and that's mine. You'll know it's me because when you click the sale icon, the same little Divergent Mind icon comes up. And I hope you'll support me. I make about $5 per shirt or per sale. Everything else goes to Spreadshirt. But that's okay, because it's still a better deal than a lot of other places. And I really hope you'll support me. Come check me out on the YouTube. Teach me how to do that properly so I can have a community there too. And I await your response. Have a lovely day. Jay.